Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Very happy that you're joining me today. Just in case you've not come across this YouTube channel before, my name is Trudy and I'm the founder of Deeper Than Eczema. So Deeper Than Eczema, as well as a YouTube channel, is also a blog where I talk about my personal experiences of eczema and also talk about guidance on managing stress, mental health, as well as the physical side of eczema. So, got a question for you, which is quite sensitive actually. Have you ever been through a time or an experience when you've been through rejection or maybe been discriminated against because of eczema? If you have, this video is just for you because I'm going to talk about an experience which I went through when I received both rejection and also discrimination, which, thinking back, is quite a sensitive story and heartbreaking to actually speak about, but I'm happy to share that today. I've actually already shared it on my blog. I'm rewriting the blog. So once that blog is ready, I'll also be putting a link to that into the description, and I'll also attach that video. I'll also attach basically this video onto the blog post as well once it comes out. So this is basically my story and my experience on when I experienced discrimination and rejection. And this links onto a previous video when I was talking about my worst flare-up experiences. So basically I went through a stressful time when I had to basically move out immediately from accommodation due to landlord putting the house up for sale, a breakdown in communication with housemates, and also damp and mold in the house, because obviously that made me ill. Not only did it escalate things with the eczema, it also irritated my asthma because I was also ill. So basically what happened was I was living with my mum for 2 months. I took steroid tablets throughout that time, which completely covered my skin in flakes head to toe. Very stressful time. I was commuting from Bedfordshire to London every single day for work, and this was pre-pandemic, so there was no such thing as working from home, remote working, MS Teams, Zoom. That basically just didn't exist back then. This was 2016, so yeah, I was basically doing that commute every day, which was difficult. So what happened was eventually I found somewhere to live in London, just a few miles away from my job, which was good. So I moved back. I was happy. I was back in the community, back with people that I know and my connections. So it was great. And I had a little bit of a flaky skin, but it wasn't as bad as it was when I was staying with my mum's. But obviously I tried to be mindful, when using the bathroom, just be mindful and just regularly clean up after myself. And there was a point when in this house, I shared the house with 3 other people. And a lady said to me one time when I was in the kitchen, she looked at my hands just randomly and she said to me, "Oh, your skin's a little bit dry and unusual, isn't it?" I just said, "Yeah," as if to say, "Yeah, so what?" And yeah, I've got dry skin. I was quite reserved actually because I went through a lot of stress. I was quite a reserved person. I wasn't confident, so I wasn't going to say yes, it's eczema and go into a whole story about it. So yeah, I just made a small comment. Yes, I know it's dry, and I just left it as that basically. And then a few weeks later after that, I was contacted by the landlord, and the landlord wanted to speak to me. I had no idea what it was about, no pre-warning or anything. So one day I just came home from work, put the dinner on, had a conversation, and basically I was told that the 3 housemates who I was living with all complained to the landlord. And the reason why they complained to the landlord was to do with my skin condition, basically, because of flakes being around the house. Obviously, looks like my cleaning skills wasn't that fantastic, and which, well, obviously I thought my cleaning skills was fantastic, but obviously they didn't think so, unfortunately. And there was actually even a comment about flakes, skin flakes being in the fridge. That definitely wasn't the case. I know for a fact that was just an exaggeration. Anyway, to cut a long story short, due to the complaints, the landlord said to me that basically that I need to leave, and I was given 2 months notice to leave. To that point, obviously, I was upset, I was in tears, I'd just been there a month. My life had literally just got back on track and it had gone upside down all over again. So I was in complete frustration. And not only that, I signed up to a 12-month contract and I was being kicked out after a month. So I was stressed and distraught inside. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I couldn't believe I had to go through a whole moving process again. Awful to think about. So after phone conversations with family and various close people, I thought to myself, really, truly, surely that's a breach of contract, and, you know, this could actually go under a legal case to obviously dismiss a tenant from a house like that. And also what aggravated me as well was that there was no pre-warning from the housemates. None of them actually came up to me, said anything, you know, just to be mindful about your skin condition, etc. There was no pre-warning. So I had no idea that all of this was being discussed in the background. So I think that also distressed me as well, obviously. So yes, I think this could have gone down as a legal case, but I thought to myself, if I take this down the legal route and I win, I'm just going to be in a house with people that want me there, and I'm not going to live somewhere where I don't feel wanted, basically. So again, you know, just been there for a month, just moved from my mum's, and again it was okay, let's find somewhere else to move. And even though I was given 2 months notice, I didn't want to waste time. This had to be quick. The quicker I was out, the better I'll be mentally. So looked for new places to live, and I was quite lucky actually, because I managed to find somewhere, I think in less than 2 weeks. I think it was about a week later, I found somewhere, and then it was another 2 weeks by the time I was able to go through the credit checks, etc., get everything ready to get helpers obviously to help me move my stuff. And so 3 weeks from the time I was told you need to leave, I was basically out of that house and into new accommodation. Another house share basically. But the problem I had with that is, because of that experience, living with my mum for 2 months and a breakdown of relationships in the previous place that I was living in, I basically just became more and more reserved with myself. So I was just reserved. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to make close contact, close friendships, nothing. So the sad thing is about this whole story, and I think about it, is that I don't want to talk to anybody. I had negative mindset and negative thinking. The thoughts that was going on in my mind back then was literally, don't make friends, you can't trust anybody, don't get too close, don't say this, don't say that, just be there, live your life, nothing, basically. And it's weird, I'm sitting here and I actually feel really, really sad talking about this, and I feel sad that I had this negative mindset, and it's like now I'm talking about it and now I literally just want to cry. Yeah, I'm not gonna cry. But just thinking about the awful mindset I had then literally just makes me want to cry, because I can't believe that that was the mindset that I had and how hurt I was. And, you know, I found it very, very difficult to deal with at the time. All of those people hurt me, the stress. Moving was stressful as well. You know, just think, changing your address over twice, physically having to move stuff twice. And I remember, for instance, for example, my car insurance, I paid 2 admin fees because I had to change the address on that twice. All of my ID, all of my ID, etc., everything I had to change over all over again. And the thought of that was just stressful. And I think, well, moving house in generally is just stressful anyway, but that just made things even worse, that I was moving again and I was going through all of that. And on top of that, you know, I still had to do my job, so I still had to go in to work and smile every day. I don't know how I done it. I really don't know how I done it. In fact, I know how I done it actually, because now I'm going to talk about how I did actually overcome that. And when I think back to experience now, because this is 7 years later, the approaches for that. So the difficult thing for that is basically recovering from hurt. So being able to recover from past hurt was very, very difficult then, because obviously I spoke about my experiences. It led to lack of trust. It led to lack of wanting to speak to anybody. And, you know, just thinking about that, if you have hurt in yourself and you don't trust people, it can really dampen future relationships. Things that could have been built, relationships that could have been built, but because you're hurt and reserved, you can't build that. So it's very important to recover from hurt, basically. Oh gosh, I actually got a tear in my eye now. I actually am crying. I didn't think this was going to happen. One thing which I didn't do back then, which I wish I actually did, was support. Obviously, I had support from family and friends, but I'm actually talking about professional support. And it's frustrating when I see the skin specialists, etc., that but don't really offer much guidance on how to do things mentally, which is the whole reason why I created Deeper Than Eczema. But when I mean support, I mean professional support. So it could be counselling, it could be therapy, something along that line. I think if I had that support back then, I would have handled the situation probably a lot better. So that's one thing which I really wish that I had. And definitely change your thinking, change of negative thinking. I really wish that I didn't have that negative mindset. And, you know, even now, negative thinking, mindset work, it can be difficult actually, but, you know, with the right guidance over time, you can get over that. So, you know, any type of therapy, coaching, you know, just surrounding yourself with the right people, you can get over things like that, and you could think positive over time. And, you know, I think one thing I learned was being able to heal and over time, and just being able to recover from that experience. And it was difficult to talk about at the time, and even now it's difficult to talk about. Look, I'm even sitting here crying, which I didn't think was going to happen. So healing also is another thing. I think as well, during that season as well, resilience, perseverance, and my faith at that point really, really helped me got through that particular experience. Without resilience, without overcoming, and without faith, nowhere would have gotten through all of that. And just thinking about faith, actually, the final point that I'll make is just be mindful that not everybody's perfect. Everybody's got imperfections. So even though it was a stressful, traumatic, and potentially illegal experience, just having that imperfection that not everybody's perfect, and when it comes to hurt, etc., half the reason why we get hurt is because other people, they get hurt themselves. So because obviously they hurt themselves, they don't know how to deal with the hurt and the wounding that they have, and that wounding and that hurt can carry on for many, many years, and then that can transfer to other people without even knowing. You know, that's a wounded story that I've got. That wound, you know, even though 7 years on, sometimes still affects me today. I'm a lot better than I was then, but it still affects me. And, you know, things that happened to you in the past, back to childhood, the way your childhood is, wounding, things like that, that could affect you into your adulthood. So, yeah. Okay, I think I'm going to stop there before I get even more emotional. But thank you so much for listening to my story. I hope that you've learned something from this experience, that, you know, it's natural to feel hurt sometimes. It's okay to be emotional. I didn't think I was going to be emotional today, but I was, hey ho. Yeah, so thank you for coming on and watching today. As I said, once the blog's out, I'll link it onto here, the video. I'll also link to the blog as well. My social media channels are all below. And as well, one last thing, subscribe to this YouTube channel. You'll be able to hear all the videos and hear all the updates I've got to share. Subscribing to my blog, you'll be able to claim your gift for a free expert tracker as well. And I will look forward to seeing you in future videos. So goodbye, take care, stay blessed. Oh, positive thinking. Take care everybody, bye bye.